Okay guys, we're going to get started today making our Dreamweaver site. There's a few things we need to do before we make our Dreamweaver site. One of those things is we're just going to create a folder structure for our site to live in. So I'm going to open up my computer. You guys can do this on your computer as well. And I'm going to create my site. I think I'll put it on the desktop, but you can put it in My Documents if you like. So I'm going to the desktop and I'm going up to my New Folder button to create a new folder on my desktop. When I press that, I'll get a new folder created down here, and I need to type a name for my new folder. So I'm going to call this one Year 10 Bio Site. I'll do so. There's my new folder. I click outside the folder to create it. Now I'm going to double click it to go inside that folder. So now I'm inside the Year 10 Bio Site folder. I'm going to create some more folders inside there. Now, to do that, I can go back up to the New Folder button, or I can right-click in the middle of the white area and just go New and Folder. I'm going to do that. The first folder I'm going to create is called the Images folder. This is where all my images and pictures, photographs and things like that will be stored. I click outside or press Enter, and that will create that folder. I'm going to create another folder inside there, and the next folder is going to be called Styles. And that's where my CSS files are going to be held. So again, I'll click in the white area to create that, or you can press Enter. I'm going to create one more folder, and we might not use this folder, but we'll create it anyway just in case we need it. And it's called JS for JavaScript if we want to use any JavaScripts for our website. Okay, fantastic. We've created that. We can now close down my computer or Windows Explorer. And I'm going to open up Dreamweaver and see what we get. Okay, once you've opened up Dreamweaver, you should be fronted with this flash screen at the start. And we're going to use that flash screen to create our site. So I'm going to come across to where it says Create New in the middle column there. And I'm going to scroll down to Dreamweaver site. So we're going to create a new Dreamweaver site. I'll click on that button and we get this pop-up for the site setup. Now the first thing I'm going to do is give my site a name. Now you can change this later, so don't panic if you can call it what you like, but it can be changed later. For purposes of this, I'm going to call my Glenn's Bio Site. You might just want to call yours Your Name Bio Site. As I said, we can change it later, so it's not a big deal. Underneath the site name, we've got the local site folder. So we have to select where this site is going to live. Now we've already created that folder structure, so I just need to go to the end here to where the folder icon is, press Browse for the folder. I have to go to where the folder I made was. Now I made mine on my desktop, so I'm going to my desktop. You can see there it has Year 10 Bio Site, and that's the one I'm going to select. So I'll click on that one and press Open, and then I just press Select. That's going to be my spot that my site is going to live. Fantastic. Now, I'm going to do a few other things before I get started on my site, just to make our life easier. I'm going to come down on the menu on the left side now and click the Servers button. And in here, you can set up where your host server is. So for us, our site will live on the EQ servers. We can actually set up our server straight away for our site. And that way, when we make changes, if we want to see them on our real site, we can just press a button and that will upload those pages and images and everything else we need to our EQ server. We don't have to muck around with any FTP file transfers. So to do that, if you come down to the bottom of the white box, at the moment we've got no connections, so we're going to add a connection. So we press our little plus button here at the bottom of our white box, and we get this little pop-up box. Now we're going to give it a name. Now our server is actually on the EQ servers, so why don't we just call it EQ server. Okay, the connection we're going to use is FTP, so we can leave that sitting at FTP. And we just need an address. So in the address, I need you to type ftp.eq.edu.au. Cool. Now we need your username and password, not my username and password, but I'm going to put mine in. You make sure you type in your username and password. So there's my username, and I'm going to type my password, make sure I'm careful that I get it correct. And you can probably, if your little save box is not ticked, you can press the tick for that. Now just remember, if your password changes, or you have to change your password, you'll have to come back in here and reset that password or it won't work. Now before I press save, I can press test just to test that that connection works. So I'll press this little test button here. And you can see little pop-ups come up saying Dreamweaver connected to your web server successfully. So I'm all good. I'm happy. I press OK. If it didn't connect successfully, you can go back and just retype your password maybe to check that that works, or just check that your FTP address is correct. It should be ftp.eq.edu.au. Okay, I'm happy with all that. That works for me. So I'm going to press save. Just to save those settings, and you can see my settings now have an EQ server and the address and everything in there. So now I've got a server that my site will upload to. I'm going to do one more thing before I continue on, and that one is in advanced settings on the left side. So if you click the little arrow to the left hand side of advanced settings, it will expand out all the sub-menus of advanced settings. One of those is local info, and I'm going to click on local info. Now in here, I can tell Dreamweaver where my default images folder is going to be. So I've already created that images folder. If you remember, we created it before we started. I just press the folder icon at the end, and Dreamweaver's pretty smart. It says, all right, I know your site's inside the Year 10 bio site. I'm just going to select the images folder, obviously, because that's where I want my images to go. And I press open. And then I press select, just to select that folder. And now it knows that it's inside there. Well done. Okay, so we've set up our images folder. I'm just going to press save at the end of that. That saves all that information in our Glen Bio site. Fantastic. Now, if you have a look over on the right-hand side, you can now see that we have a Glen's Bio site, and we have our images, our JS, and our styles folder over there. Fantastic. So we've got our whole folder set up over there. We can do some more things in here before we go in and start our site. We haven't actually got any pages yet, so there's nothing else for us to work on yet. So we'll keep using our splash screen, and we'll create a page in our site. So up here in Create New, we're going to create a HTML page. All right. You can see that it's created a two-window scenario. On the left-hand side, we've got some script. On the right-hand side, we've got what you would actually see as a web page, and all you'd see is a white blank at the moment. Up the top up here, you'll see in the tab, we've got a page, and it's called Untitled 1. Now, we want to give our page a title, and we're going to make this our home page. If you remember from our previous lessons that your home page should be titled index.html. So I'm going to go up to File and Save As, and we're going to save this page. It's defaulted to our Year 10 bio site. Fantastic. And I'm going to call it index.html. That way, web servers will know that that is our default home page. So make sure you've got index.html in there. Press Save. And if you have a look down here, and we can't quite see, I might have to scroll down a little. You'll see that my index.html page is sitting there in the root of my site. And that's fantastic. That's what we want. Okay, well done.